my Panda Pals, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about what happened on The Other Way, Season 6, Episode 16. Josh really pissed me off in this one again, but we will get into that. So if you are down for that, buckle up and let's go for a ride. Let's start things off with Statler and Dempsey. The two have been bit-bopping around England and France for the past 2 weeks, and it's finally time for Statler to get back to work. Cause, well, somebody has to fund this lifestyle, and Statler volunteered as tribute.
I volunteer as tribute!
They park the van so Statler can set up her workspace, but as you'd expect, things do not go as planned.
I don't have internet, so we need to go find internet. Nothing's working.
There is absolutely zero cell service, so Statler cannot hotspot, which means she cannot work. And she looks at Dempsey and she starts to spiral.
Without internet, no job, no money, no van life. 100% will get fired because, I'm not coming across as reliable.
Dempsey's a little annoyed because Statler immediately just started complaining instead of trying to come up with a solution. And she's like, dude, chill. We can literally drive somewhere with service. They pack up their things and drive until they get a strong enough signal, and while Statler's just getting all of her stuff sorted out, she asks Dempsey to help plug in this thing, and it's either like an adapter or maybe a signal booster, I have no idea. But Dempsey tries to do it and she's like, oh, it won't fit. And Statler's like, okay, but can you try? And Dempsey's like, bitch, I literally just did, and I told you it doesn't fit. And Statler's like, okay, but can you actually try? And Dempsey's like, the fuck?
Can you just try?
I've tried. I know it won't work. It's too wide.
You have to figure this out now.
Okay.
Here's the thing, Statler, it is your job, so it's actually up to you to figure it out. You're more than welcome to ask for help, but that's the thing. You are not asking Dempsey right now. You are just kind of ordering her to do things, and that's not really that great. Dempsey's getting frustrated because Statler had 2 whole weeks to test everything out, but instead, she waited until the morning she had to get back to work, and now she's just scrambling last minute, blaming everything that's going wrong on Dempsey.
Is there any way you can fix the table so I can, have my hands not killing me here?
Statler continues to talk to Dempsey like she's her unpaid intern, and she rattles off a list of things that Dempsey needs to go and pick up for her. Dempsey's super overwhelmed from being bossed around all morning, so she sits down to open up a book, and Statler's like, okay, well, if you're just gonna sit on your ass, you clearly don't care about any of this. And Dempsey's like, no, I do care, but you're asking me for things nonstop. Can you give a bitch a minute?
My job should also be a priority of Dempsey's. It's what's putting food on the table, it's what's putting gas in the tank.
Eventually, Dempsey heads into town to grab what Statler needs, but since she doesn't need those things right away, she decides to take her sweet time and enjoy herself a little. And honestly, who can blame her? So she goes around exploring France, taking in the sights, and just overall enjoying a break from all of the tension back in the van. She does feel a tiny bit guilty that she's doing all of this without Statler, cause, Statler's busy working to fund this lifestyle for her.
If there's something that I really want to do, whether Statler's working or not, I'm gonna do that.
Meanwhile, Statler's back in the van and she's feeling a little salty that she's stuck working while Dempsey is out gallivanting around France having a jolly good time.
I can't help but feel like I'm being used.
Dempsey finally returns, she transitions into van wife mode, and she starts to cook Statler dinner. Statler tells her that she updated her work schedule to make up for the missing time, so she's gonna be working for the next 30 days straight, so they won't be able to really do anything together.
We're going to all of these beautiful places, but I'm not getting to enjoy them or see them, so that sucks. It's just kind of all hitting me, what am I doing?
Despite her earlier resentment of Dempsey, Statler does try to be nice and make some small talk and asks Dempsey how her day in town was, and Dempsey immediately breaks down. She tells us that she's overwhelmed with stress because she's trying to be considerate of Statler, but Statler's negativity is wearing her down so much.
I thought that I had a partner in this, but I'm actually feeling quite alone.
Statler here has no idea why she's crying because Dempsey can't get herself to tell her what she just told us. So Statler's now getting anxious because she thinks Dempsey is probably gonna break up with her. Let's move on to Sarper and Shekinah. This one, super fast. Let's go. Shekinah is fresh out of surgery with her brand new nose. It is bandaged up and she is looking very post-op chic. Meanwhile, Sarper's trying to be all cute about it and he tells us that she looks like a homeless person, but I guess in an endearing way.
She like homeless with no makeup, recovery, surgery, bandage, casts everywhere.
He feeds her some juice, he helps her walk around, and Shekinah's like, oh my gosh, I am so proud of him. He is doing such an amazing job taking care of me.
One more steps, babe. Baby steps, you know?
He's really impressing me.
Now, this is Sarper's very first time taking care of anybody other than himself, so while I am happy that he came out of the gate very strong, I feel like he will only be able to maintain this for a few days before he starts to get really annoyed.
This is a good test for our relationship, but I hope there will be no more surgeries.
That seems unlikely. Let's move on to Lily and Josh. Josh takes Jared to the mall and leaves Lily to have some one-on-one time with her daughter, Vivian. Now, Lily and Vivian are besties. Lily tells us that whenever she has some tea to spill, her daughter is the #1 on her speed dial.
妈妈对赵氏太恋爱脑了。她对赵氏，我觉得就是什么都可以忍。
She says that she thinks her mother is way too in love with him and does not understand why.
赵氏现在没有稳定的工作，赵氏在家里也不会帮我妈去分担一些家务什么的。
I called it. I knew that Josh was just sitting in the corner of that house all day with his thumb up his ass. Lily gives Vivian the grand tour of the whole house, and she shows her this theater room, and she's like, when I'm done setting this room up, Josh and I are gonna watch movies in here every night.
你这是什么东西啊？
就那个投影仪都还没有安装嘛，然后
他应该担当起一些责任。
Lily tells her that Josh wasn't physically in China to help her set up most of this house, and her daughter's like, okay, fine, but he still could have given you emotional support, and he didn't. Also, he is now in China. He has the ability to set up that projector because he's physically in the house and he's literally got nothing else to do. Vivian is like, listen, I have tried to talk you out of dating this absolute loser, but you never listen to me. Do you not remember what happened with that Vietnamese woman? So, back when Josh and Lily were just dating, they were very on again, off again, and during one of their off seasons, Lily noticed that Josh changed his WeChat profile picture to a photo of him with a Vietnamese woman. She confronted him about it, and she was like, who is that woman? And he tells her that it was an old friend of his that had actually died, and so he changed his profile picture in honor of her. Turns out that woman was very much alive and was actually his girlfriend that he was dating at that time. And then when she discovered that, she told Vivian, and Vivian was like, ma'am, why are you still talking to him? Delete his number, block him from WeChat, move on with your life. So Lily does that. She stops communicating with him. And then a couple months later, Josh comes out of the woodwork, begs for her back, and says he really wants to work things out. And he's super afraid of being alone. And Lily takes him back.
非常后悔的最大的错误，不想孤独嘛，因为他很怕孤独。
他怕孤独。
So it's probably safe to assume that his Vietnamese girlfriend realized that he was a giant f***ing loser and then dumped him. And then Josh went back to Lily to see if she was still stupid enough to take him back, which she was. This feels like a very common occurrence in this franchise.
那现在他也来中国了，那我们就是希望他，也希望我们能一起认真的过，当然是最好这样子。
Vivian does not want to see Josh, aka her new stepdaddy, but she sucks it up and goes out to dinner anyway. Josh and Jared come into the restaurant, they have their shopping bags with them, and I am sorry, but they did a full day of shopping, and all Josh bought were clothes for himself. He did not bring Lily a gift, he did not bring Vivian a gift. Like, this is the girl who is your new stepdaughter that you are meeting for the very first time. Like, how did you not buy her flowers? Vivian wastes no time. She tells him that she's got a lot of questions for him and that she knows all about that Vietnamese woman. He tries to justify himself, and he starts off pretty strong by trying to blame Lily, and he says that Lily always had doubts about them and the relationship, so they were always getting into fights and breaking up all the time. Then he kind of forgets that he was trying to blame everything on Lily and just kind of ends up telling on himself, and he says that he did not know if he was ever going to meet Lily in person, and he really craved physical companionship, so he went ahead and dated other people.
But you lied to her.
Well, she was dead to me.
Okay, so she was died to me, so you are not lie.
Well, yeah.
The timeline for this is really blurry for me, but it feels really weird that he wouldn't just say, oh, it was a woman that I was dating, unless he was dating her at a time when he shouldn't, you know?
I did tell her she's dead. And that's why I posted the photo. Just so I want to get into all the drama.
Josh turns the tables back on Lily, and he's like, well, you dated another American guy after we broke up. And then after we got back together, you kept on talking to him. And now things get even more confusing because Lily says that is impossible because she stopped talking to him before her and Josh got back together again. And then Josh says that he found her messages with him.
Well, I saw messages. Why would she save them?
因为我不是浪漫吗？我就写的，哎呀，这是我梦想的，我写的就类似小说那种的。
Vivian translates and she's like, no, you found her diary, not her messages. And Josh is like, okay, well then why were those messages in a dating app? And Lily says that Josh is a big liar and she could never be like him dating multiple people at once. So yeah, I'm really confused because it sounds like Josh was cheating, but then it doesn't sound like he was cheating, but then it doesn't make sense why he would lie about it if he wasn't cheating. And then Lily was emotionally cheating, but then she says she wasn't, but then she was keeping the messages, but the messages were a diary. Like, this is really confusing, and it definitely doesn't help that there is a huge language barrier. So what I think happened is that Josh did cheat on Lily with that Vietnamese woman, and that Vietnamese woman was probably like, I want you to upload this picture of us together, like show the world that you're taken. And so he had to do it to please her. And then when Lily was like, who's that? He had no choice but to lie and be like, oh, that's a friend who died, right? Like there's no reason to tell that stupid ass lie if it wasn't because he was cheating on her. And with Lily, what I think happened was she stopped talking to that American guy when she was dating Josh, but she did not end up deleting her conversations with him because she was saving them for memories or I don't know, probably to remember what it looks like for a guy to talk to you kindly, respectfully, and with love. Because she probably wasn't getting that in her relationship with Josh. Josh then tries to pit Lily against her daughter.
I told you your daughter is going to try destroying our marriage, and I was correct.
Josh is like, I told you, if we stop reliving the past, aka all of his mistakes, and looking to the future, we can make it. I know we can. And then Jared is like, whoa, but Vivian is her daughter, and well, I mean, she's now your daughter, so she is gonna be a part of that future too. And Josh is like, I mean, she's not my real daughter. I don't actually care about her.
Well, there is no relationship between me and her. I don't care if she hates me or, anything else. I just wanted a relationship with my wife.
Oh my gosh, Josh sucks. You need to throw this whole man away. If my husband told me in front of my daughter and my brother-in-law that he does not care about fostering a good relationship with my child because my child is calling out his previously shitty behavior, then guess what? I don't have a husband anymore. I am single, ready to mingle.
Josh, you could be a little more sensitive.
And so can you.
Jared's like, dude, come on. And Josh is like, no, I'm allowed to disagree with you and you have to accept that. And Jared's like, okay, but you are the only person at this table who thinks that it's okay to say you do not care about your wife's daughter, aka your stepdaughter. Are you sure this is the hill you want to be dying on? Josh goes on to say that this is between him and Lily, and he does not care about what anyone else thinks. By the end of the dinner, Lily is having some serious second thoughts about marrying this guy, and honestly, who can blame her? Josh is giving major red flags.
Our wedding, I think let's think careful our counsel.
Lily, who cares what he thinks? What do you think? Because he just openly told you in front of your daughter that he does not give a shit about her. Her opinion does not matter, and he does not care about fostering a good relationship with her. I think it's time for you to assess things on your own and not give a shit about what Josh wants. Let's move on to Tata and James. James, Tata, and her parents are out for a wedding food tasting. But James is already feeling some type of way because Tata's dad keeps wanting to blow up his budget.
Tata's dad doesn't care about our budget. He kind of looks at it as, I'm an American, I should have a bunch of money.
The caterer shows them Leghorn chicken, and she says that they can switch it up to village chicken, but it will cost more. And Tata's dad is like, okay, well, why don't we just do both of the options? And Tata's like, no, father, the Leghorn is fine.
We cannot afford everything that my parents want. I have 3,000 family just from my dad's side.
I'm sorry, did she mean to say 30? How does a single person even know 3,000 people to want to invite them to a wedding? That's so many people. I don't even think they could feed that amount of people on their budget if all they served was rice. They taste the food and James is like, whoa, this chicken is dope. And her dad is like, Indonesians eat everything with chili paste, so do you want some? And James is like, I mean, I'll probably die because salt is spicy for me, but okay. And he eats a mouthful and he immediately regrets it.
They do spice different. When they say spicy, they mean, oh, you want your tongue to fall out of your mouth. Okay.
He doesn't love that everyone is laughing at his expense, but since everyone seems to be in a good mood, he asks Tata if she wants to take this opportunity to entirely kill the mood and disappoint them some more.
So I was thinking, do you want to talk about kids and about not having them?
Why asking me? Ask yourself.
Oh, dude, I kind of love that she responded this way because he has been an absolute butthole who has just told a bunch of lies so that she would marry him. Like promising her dad that he would learn the language and that he was gonna give them grandchildren. And he also lied to Tata every single time that he was talking about how he would love to see little mini-me's running all over the house. So yeah, maybe you should bear the burden of being a lying disappointment all on your own. But then on the other hand, Tata is choosing to stay married with him, knowing now that he does not want kids. So it does kind of feel like she's throwing him to the wolves. I love that she did it. I'd probably respond that way. I don't know if it was the best way to respond, but whatever.
We have a question about, what's the word for kids? I'm not sure if I want to have kids.
I think it is so stupid that James spoke entirely in broken English and then asked Tata how to say the word kid in Indonesian and then continues to speak in broken English and then asks her to translate everything he just said. Just speak in English, preferably without the accent, because saying kid in Indonesian just makes it so that her dad hears wah, 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 kids, wah, 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 wah. Tata translates and her parents are not amused. Her mother is like, honey, the reason why people get married is to have kids. And her dad is looking at James as if he's thinking, how do you even call yourself a man?
Jamesnya yang gak mau punya anak gimana?
Itu nanti tidak punya, di dunia harus ada punya sejarah.
Her mother goes on to say that without kids, life is just gonna be meaningless and empty. And James is like, okay, well, do you think I'm being selfish? And her mom is like, I mean, I think that you should have kids. It doesn't have to be right now. It can be when you're in a better situation financially, but you're never gonna complete your family without them. I don't think James, or anyone for that matter, is selfish for not wanting kids. I think that is the correct choice for James because if James were to have kids, I think he would resent that child. What I do think is selfish is James lying to Tata and her family, making a whole bunch of promises that he never intended to fulfill just so that he could get their blessing and get Tata to want to marry him. So yeah, he tells them that in the future his mind might change, even though he knows full well it never will.
For me, not wanting to have children, I can't see it changing.
So again, he's doing that thing where he's lying so that he can avoid confrontation in this current moment, and in turn is just making the pain that everyone is gonna feel later on so much worse when he comes clean. And that, my Panda Pals, is all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed the episode, and if you are not subscribed yet, please do your Panda Pal a favor and click that subscribe button. Give this video a big thumbs up, and let me know down in the comments below what you thought of this episode. I hope to see you guys for the next one, and as always, thanks for not letting me ride this train wreck alone. Bye!